Good morning, you guys. Hope you guys are well. I want to do a real quick video here. This is something that I've had a few requests over the years, but I just never gotten around to it. And Gary Litchfield wrote me an email the other day and asked, he said he loves using the freezer paper or label paper, whichever one you're using, and the inkjet printer. But how do you manage putting all those pieces together without smearing them and stuff? So I'm going to show you a couple tips that I've kind of learned the hard way on how to do that. So we have an image that we did on the sign. There was actually two of these back to back that we did, I don't know, a couple months ago. It was actually for our bookkeeper. But anyway, Vicky has printed this out, made it big enough that it's 4 squares. So let me show you. I've got them right over here. Now here's the first tip, is that from where we print in the house, in the office, to out here in the studio, there's always wind blowing here in Arizona, in Golden Valley specifically, and I tried a lot of different ways to get my artwork out here if it's more than 2 pieces, since I don't have but 2 hands. So this is what I've done, is this is what I've learned, is I just tape them on the inside of this thing, put a lid, and I carry it out here, and the wind doesn't get it all messed up. So let me take my pieces out. These are printed on label stock, on the label backer stock, and this is just an experiment, guys, or just a short demo. This isn't for a sign right now, so you guys can go back. In fact, I'm going to put across the screen here other videos that you can go watch that will show you a little bit better process as far as the actual transfer. Normally I would have printed this all out on regular paper and made marks where this is going to go, but I didn't do that because this is more just about how to actually put the pieces together with the margins and stuff. It's more about that than it is anything else. So, oh, is too much light there?
Let's make things real bright.
Oh, okay. So you can see that I've got plenty of room all the way around here. Now that will vary just depending on what you're printing out and what you're trying to work with. One thing that I found really helpful is a paper cutter. This is a paper cutter that we've had, gosh, we must have had this thing for 40-50 years. I mean, a long time. So what I'm going to do, I like this paper cutter because I can and look at that, I just put my finger in it. Dadgummit, I'm supposed to know what I'm doing here. Well, I guess that's over with. So I like it because I can trim things up and keep everything square. So I'm just going to trim some of these pieces up. Fortunately, I don't think that will matter too much. Let's see here. So that way these things will all at least fit on the board there. Not quite that short. So if you guys don't know, once you print these out, guys, then this stuff will smear really easily. As a matter of fact, just putting them in the bin, they kind of smeared on me a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So now when you print these out, these are printed out of Rapid Resizer, and they do have a way that you can adjust these margins. So you have to kind of, when you're printing these out, definitely do it on regular paper first and figure out what margins you have. But all I've done in the past is figured, okay, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this margin off, and that's where the paper cutter really comes in handy. So that's going to overlap there. And then I'll cut this margin off so it'll overlap on that one. And these little lines help a lot too on the outside edges. There's little, let me see, I'm not sure whether you can see them, but there's little dotted lines there that help if you're doing a, you know, if you're cutting your margins off.
Let's see if I can get him right there.
Oh, okay.
No, put it down.
Oh.
I can do it on this one here.
So now that one will go on there. That one will go on there. And then this, I'm going to cut both the margins off on this one. Well, I said this was going to be a quick video, but now I'm thinking I lied. But I'm trying. All right, so then that's going to go on there. So once I get that in place, I'm just going to move that. I'm going to get it in place. Now you have there's a couple different ways to do it. This is a roll-on.
Put it down. Okay.
This is a roll-on adhesive that you can just and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Let me see if it's going to work for me here. Sometimes it takes a minute or so to get that thing rolling. I like this stuff, but it's not. It doesn't stick real well.
It's not real user friendly.
Yeah, it works better on regular paper than it does on this really slick stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use Scotch tape, just regular old Scotch tape. And now what you need to do is tape it in an area that you're not going to have to do the transfer. So I just want to get it all stuck together. Let me see here. Gosh, it's so quiet. I can hear the clock ticking up there. Once I get it stuck where I want it, then I can go back and reinforce those areas. But I know Gary, and Gary was saying that he has a tough time getting this stuff all stuck together. Oh, let's see. I want to try and get that image where it's going to be. Now I can go back and I can put some extra pieces in there. And sometimes you'll have, depending on the artwork, you might have open spots in here that you can do the same kind of thing. So then it's just a matter of turning it over. Now what you can also do, I could actually put a piece in here because I know, well, I do have like the overalls and stuff, and I kind of messed that one corner up. But I think you guys are getting the idea. But I'm just going to try and turn this over carefully. And again, if I was doing this on a real sign, oh man, yeah, there we go. So I know I feel your pain, Gary. That wasn't good. So I think what I will do is, in this instance, I will put some extra tape in the center there. I think this may be the first one that I've done, even being an experiment. This may be the, well, I don't really want to put it
maybe
there.
Just put longer pieces down there to hold it together better.
Anyway, what I was about to say is pieces of this label stock. I haven't. This may be the first one that I've actually done. Oh my gosh! Wow, with this label stock, it doesn't want to stick very well at all. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm learning with you guys.
Maybe that's, I think you did, but I think you used the blue,
masking tape?
yeah.
Did I? Maybe masking tape would hold better. Yeah, we're about out of blue masking tape, and I'm not sure if this masking tape... This is old masking tape, guys. I just happened to use it this morning. And you know how when masking tape gets old, or I don't know if you guys do know that, but when it gets old, it kind of comes off in pieces and stuff, and doesn't want to let loose real well, and just comes off in little chunks. But I threw it in the microwave. I threw this actual roll in the microwave because I was using it earlier. I threw it in the microwave for about, I don't know, 20 or 30 seconds. Yep, see, that's what I'm talking about. Wow, this is turning into a disaster.
Not really.
Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, everybody's going to see that, you know.
I'm going to make this work. I'm going to fight through it and make it work.
You go, boy.
This is just turning into a stinking comedy show.
Pretty much like everything else we do.
Yeah, but generally I have this stuff kind of figured out. Gosh. But I think this is the first one that I've done with label paper that is... Alright, let's see if I can turn it over now. But the problem is it's not stuck on the edges on the inside. Mm-hmm. So here's what I'm going to do.
It's kind of twisting.
Yeah. Here's what I'm going to do. Doesn't really matter because this is all, you know, if I was actually carving this as a sign, this would all be pretty much the same anyway.
I wonder if I can hear your tummy growling on this.
On the camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, my tummy is growling a little bit. Alright, let's see if that works. I don't have a lot of faith in this right now. Alright, well, look at there. I got it turned over. So, now we'll tape it down and we'll see if we can actually do a transfer.
Your tummy's talking.
Vicky is laughing at me. Now, any place that you've got a margin, like here, so you've got kind of an overlap, what's going to happen is that's not going to transfer as well as the other parts. So you could cut both those margins off and then tape it edge to edge, but I found that by leaving the margins on there, again, all I need is a fairly good image of what I'm really trying to carve. And each piece of artwork is going to be different too. So again, here, what you can do, if you're doing it the way I am here, you can actually use the edge and that the corner, and that tends to allow you to press a little bit harder on there. I really need to tape this whole thing down a little bit better. Fortunately, the tape holds better on this side because it's not the shiny side. The main thing is, guys, if you don't have one of these paper cutters, I know it's really helped me. Now, you could use a straight edge and a razor knife. You could absolutely do that. But I like the paper cutter because it gives me really nice, clean, straight angles. I don't know how good this transfer is going to be because I'm kind of rushing through it. The main thing that you know, Gary was alluding to, as many of you have, is how the heck do you get it together without it smearing all over the place. And I think I've kind of hit that already. But now what you could do here too, if you're having an issue like that, go ahead and throw a piece of tape on there. Keep that thing from curling up. Again, this is out in the middle of my carving, so it shouldn't really matter. Shouldn't matter at all, actually. Now you've got less chance that it's going to buckle on you. All right. Let's see. Let's see how it looks. Where's my pocket knife? Oh, there it is. I'm just doing this on a piece of MDF, guys. This is a piece of 3/4 inch MDF that happened to be about the right size, so that's what I decided to use. That's not too bad. So see, it's got some blank spots in there where I put the tape, but all in all, that's not bad. That's enough that I could pencil all that in and get what I wanted. Not bad. Actually, came out better than I thought. And by the way, on this paper, I didn't put any silicone or anything like that, but Vicky did find a way to print it. And I think this is we talked about this on the video we did just a week or so ago when Vicky was in the office and printing that thing out. We used best quality. So I think that's kind of what you did on this, right? So this doesn't have any silicone or anything on it, but it's printed out best quality, which actually came out pretty well. Now the thing is, I could lay that back down and rub it some more and probably get some of those little pieces in there, but I really wouldn't need to. Based on my picture, you know, that gives me all of the detail really that I need on the eyes and the hat and the whole thing. So actually, that's not a bad deal for the disaster that was heading to. So I averted disaster there. So I fought through it, made it work out. So I hope this is helpful, guys. If you guys have any questions, let me know. But basically, I really like this paper cutter. That's one of the biggest things for me. And then figuring out how to get all my pieces, because we've done some that were 6 and 8 pieces big, and that gets kind of tricky. But once you look at it from the margin standpoint, get rid of those margins, put those things together, then it's definitely doable. It's definitely better than using carbon paper. This is still even with the issues with this stuff, still my favorite transfer process rather than using laser jet. Anyway, I guess that's it, guys. Thanks so much. Again, questions, eric@makeawoodsign.com, and we'll see you on the next one. We love you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.